How you doing, sir?
Outstanding. This is T.C. Chambers. I'll be your presenter this evening. Welcome. We have about 2 minutes or so before we get started. So it'll be a great time to introduce yourself. What's your name, where you're calling from?
Maria, Marshall, Maryland.
All right. Welcome. Maryland in the house. Welcome.
Dexter Sandler, San Antonio, Texas.
Dexter Sandler. Welcome, Dex.
Yes, sir.
Dennis Ireland, Maryland.
Maryland in the house. Representing again. Welcome.
Shire, Georgia.
Great state of Georgia. Shire, welcome.
Janelle, North Carolina.
Janelle from North Carolina. Welcome.
Andre Hall from Texas.
Mr. Hall from Texas. And we got a bunch of people joining us on Facebook Live also. I want to welcome you all on Facebook as well.
Gloria Jennings, Baltimore, Maryland.
Gloria from Baltimore, welcome.
Thank you.
Harry McIver from North Carolina.
Mr. McIver from North Kakalaka, welcome, welcome. Another 60 seconds of introductions and then we'll go ahead and get started to tonight's webinar.
Lisa Queen, New York.
Welcome, welcome. Another 30 seconds of introductions and then we'll go ahead and get started. Last call for introductions. Mr. Abdul, welcome. My headphone on speaker. All right, so give me a second while I mute out our line here to ensure our quality assurance during the overview. Just give me 1 second and also put it on record.
Everyone else is now muted.
All right, so everyone's muted. Give me a second and we'll put this on record here. 1 second. I can get over to that. All right, let's see. All right.
Call recording is on.
Well, it's a beautiful Monday night, February 18th, here in sunny Miami, and you all are joining us from all over the country. I'd like to welcome you all to our live Icon BPM webinar and conference call, as well as welcome those that are here live on Facebook. I'm T.C. Chambers, Executive Vice President Infinity with Icon, and it is my plum pleasing pleasure to be your presenter for tonight's overview. So, a little bit about the company itself. Icon, the name, let's start with the name, is short for My Economy. And the reason that the company was named My Economy is to bring attention to the fact that we all have an economy. The same way the U.S. government has an economy, the city and state you live in has an economy, well, we all have our own economy. Our household's finance represents our economy. And just like any other economy, our household have a CEO. And that might be you. Or it might be a combination dual run by you and your significant others. But bottom line, the role or the responsibility of the CEO of anyone's economy is to ensure the vibrancy, the growth, and sustainability and success of one's economy. So having said that, the buck stops with you. Where we are today financially is a direct result of what we learned in the past about finance and money and what we've done with it, the actions we've taken with that knowledge. So you hear a lot of people say that, knowledge is power. And I tend to disagree with that to some extent. You know, I jokingly sometimes say that, you know, I know everything there is to know pretty much about getting a six-pack abs. You know, what I should eat, what I should drink, what time of day and hour I should eat, what's the last time. But knowing that means absolutely nothing, because without applying that knowledge, I'll end up with a keg of a belly. So it's the same thing with finance and money. We can know what to do, but not do it. But unfortunately, what we found out that millions of Americans, unfortunately, are fortunately are very educated, very knowledgeable, highly skilled. But unfortunately, it's not in the area of finance and money. That's why we have people that will make six figures, doctors, lawyers, and still fall short financially when it comes to being able to retire. We'll have people be entertainers and athletes and make millions of dollars. And people win the lottery and have millions of dollars and still end up broke. It's because they've never been taught the things specific to finance and money that allow them to obtain personal financial success. So Icon, we're the personal financial success company. And what we do is we provide an online educational system. It's membership-based, and it focuses on financial literacy and entrepreneurship. And we deliver this through a web-based business. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the company itself so you'll see how effective the company has traditionally been with respect to delivering this information and helping people apply it. So we're a 14-year-old debt-free technology-driven company based in Atlanta, Georgia. And to date, we've helped our associates empower them with knowledge and tools in a vehicle to be able to increase their household cash flow in excess of $450 million. Now, we're super, super proud of that fact, and we actually anticipate, because of the advances and improvements consistently in our program, advances in technology, because we're heavily technology driven, that we anticipate our associates over the next 12 months to increase their cash flow in excess of $100 million more. So now I want you to think about this. In the next 12 months, our associates will increase their cash flow over and above what they already have coming in by over $100 million. Now, if you continued to do what you did in 2018, you do that in 2019, will you significantly increase your household's bottom line, its profitability, lowered its debt? If not, it may be necessary to get some knowledge and tools that you do not already possess to allow you to accomplish that. Now let's talk a little bit about our company's mission. Very powerful, but real simple. It's to empower thousands of individuals and households, tens of thousands of them, with the knowledge and tools they need to obtain personal financial success. Now, that means really nothing unless you have a working definition or understanding of what we mean by obtaining personal financial success. Now, financial success is simply having enough cash flow to support our lifestyles now, during our working years, and then be able to maintain or improve that lifestyle during our retirement or financial freedom years. Now, that's consistent with what I believe most people have. Two basic financial objectives. One, make enough money now to provide a quality life for ourselves and our family. And we typically do that by going to get some education, some knowledge, some trades, some skills that we then leverage on a job typically to earn us some income, enough income to take care of our families and ourselves. Or some knowledge, some skills to leverage on a business that we then have earned income from that business. Now, that first objective requires us to leverage that knowledge, our time, our expertise, and our energy. And, you know, in layman's terms, we got to kill to eat. But the second objective is centered around bringing us dollars, bringing us revenue, bringing us income that's going to take care of lifestyle without us having to work. When you think about retiring, you don't think about still having to go to work. See, that doesn't mean you aren't going to do anything. That just means you have the ability to live your retirement years on your own terms, on your own time frame, doing what you want, where you want, wherever you want, as long as you want. So most people experience retirement and then career change because their retirement check wasn't enough. So we're talking about building enough income-producing assets during your working years that take care of you during your retirement years so you no longer have to work. Now, what type of assets, because we weren't taught about assets. Some people think the car that they drive is an asset. We're talking about income producing assets, stocks, bonds, retirement accounts, your 401ks, 403bs, TSPs. Again, all those things that make you money without you having to go to work. Real estate portfolio. You might even have a property manager managing it. You're not even going around collecting the rent. So you can stay in Jamaica for 2 months, 3 months at a time, and your income doesn't change at all. Businesses, residual-based businesses, multi-level marketing businesses, those things where you don't have to open the door, go in, work all day, come back out and run for your business to give you income. Again, these concepts have to be learned, trained upon, and then executed on. Now, let's take it a little further, because America's the wealthiest country in the world, bar none. Unfortunately, though, even though there's $100 trillion of wealth in America, for all that are here that were taking as much as they like, the masses aren't taught how to access it freely. See, if you have a job paying you $50,000 a year, $75,000 a year, $100,000 a year, well, your access to that $100 trillion is limited to that $50,000, $75,000, or $100,000. Well, between Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, they have $186 billion. So they weren't limited because they used some principles to access that $100 trillion. Now, unfortunately, there are some obstacles that the masses weren't taught to counter or to understand and deal with. And these obstacles prevent millions of Americans from being able to reach that second goal. Let's talk about some of these obstacles so you know what they are, and then you understand the importance of putting a strategy in place to counter them. The first is high taxes. Now, it's important to understand the impact of taxes on our cash flow. See, millions of Americans that are W-2 employees, they lose about 1/3 of their income every pay period because of taxes. Now, that's 1/3 of their income they don't have to go to work for them, to buy, build, and grow income-producing assets. It's not going to their 401k, 403b, TSP. And unfortunately, they weren't taught that they can counter that to minimize their taxes. So part of our system is to show you how to position yourself to minimize the impact of taxes on your cash flow, giving you more cash flow to buy, build, and grow income-producing assets. Next is poor credit. See, we all know credit is extremely important. It affects your now and it affects your future. Your now, it could potentially affect your ability to get a job. So they say 68 million Americans have less than ideal credit. So when two people are applying for a job, everything is equal on paper. Then they go and pull the credit report, and whichever one's credit report is lower, they use that as a character judge. See, they don't understand that there was some medical mishaps that caused that to happen. All they see is the end result. One score is lower than the other person is going to get the job. It affects your ability or how much you'll pay for insurance premiums. Again, they use that to determine how much of a risk you are, or a character judge. It affects how much you're going to pay in the next 5 years for an automobile, or worse, the next 30 years for a mortgage. So you can't afford to not have strong credit to minimize your borrowing costs for the now and also for the next 30 years. So in our system, we show you how to address that yourself, a blueprint to address your credit. Third is too much debt. I want you to think about this scenario. In October, the masses had this much income, steady, and this much debt. When the Christmas holiday comes, their income didn't change. At the end of the Christmas holiday, their debt is much higher. So they couldn't pay their debt off, all their debt off in October with the income they had. Then they added a significant amount more debt because of the holiday, but they have the same income and they still can't pay that debt off. Now, that means a longer amount of time to pay it off, the more they're going to have to pay for those items, and the longer period of time they do not have that cash flow that's servicing that debt. So now that cash flow can't be used to buy, build, and grow income-producing assets that's supposed to take you into your retirement years. That's cash flow that's not going into your retirement account. So you have to have a strategy that gives you more cash flow so you can rapidly eliminate that debt. Again, returning that cash flow to your financial strategy and paying off that debt. Next is inadequate investing in savings. See, I want you to think about this. where in your education, middle school, high school, college, did they teach you about compound interest? How money grows? How long it's going to take your money to double? If they didn't teach you about that, yet they told you that all you need to do is go get a good education, use that education to get a good job, then put money in your retirement account, and then down the road you're going to be okay. Well, if you don't know how money grows, you're not sure how much you need to put in to get to down the road. So you have no idea where down the road is. So people look up at 20 years thinking they're down the road, and they're nowhere near it because they were never taught how money grows, how money works. So in our system, we teach you the language of money, how money works. So you now know how much you need to put away. So when you free up that cash flow by addressing those first three obstacles, you now have a significant more amount of money to invest on your behalf, and you know how it's going to grow so you can forecast and anticipate where you're going to be. Lastly, nowhere in our formal education, not in Ivy League schools, not in prestigious private schools, state and local institutions of higher learning, did we have conversations about inflation. See, understanding inflation is important because it grows 3 to 4% a year. So think, there are people out there for the past 5 years did not get a pay raise. So that means their $50,000 they got in 2017 is the same $50,000 in 2018 and the same $50,000 in 2019. Well, in 2017, groceries cost one thing, gasoline cost another, the cost of living. Well, in 2018, all of those went up by 3 to 4%. So if your pay doesn't go up consistently annually by 5% on your job, then you're at a deficit. You're falling behind every single year. But as the CEO of your household, of your economy, it's unacceptable to simply say, well, I didn't get a 5% pay raise on my job, so my household income did not increase. That's unacceptable as a CEO. As a CEO, you then must be resourceful and find a way to ensure that your household income is always outpacing inflation or you're falling behind. See, statistics say there's 80% of Americans feel like they're falling behind financially and they don't know why. Part of it is these 5 obstacles. And the last part is inflation. They're not ensuring that their income is outpacing inflation year after year after year. So it's simple. Solve these obstacles. Put a strategy in place to solve these obstacles, and then you're on your way to financial independence. Now, you have to imagine if there's 100 million people that are struggling for cash flow. 68 million Americans have less than ideal credit. Another 69% of Americans have less than $1,000 in savings. It's a huge market for this solution. So let's talk a little bit about what our solution is. Now, it's simple. More cash flow and smart financial strategies. So you need more cash flow, rapidly pay the debt down. More cash flow to buy, build, and grow income-producing assets. You need smart financial strategies because that's going to tell you what to do with the money. That's going to tell you how to counter the impact of taxes. That's going to tell you how to repair, build, and maintain strong credit. Next, another source of income. So part of how we do that is our income shifting membership. It's our online educational system. And it fuels the strategies that you need. Second is business income. See, you'll find out as we shift tax dollars, valuable tax dollars back into your household, that's not going to be enough to fuel your asset growth in a reasonable amount of time. See, if you're already in your 50s, you don't want to wait 20 years to be able to retire. If you're in your 20s, you don't want to wait till you're 50 to be able to retire. So you need additional income, thousands a month more income. So we help you build business income. Now, let's take a look at our membership. It has correct tax withholdings, building great credit, minimizing tax with our cash flow manager software, our debt elimination software, and our investment education. Let's take a look at each of them individually real quickly here. So, correcting tax withholdings, this is the fun one. If you're watching this, if you're listening to this, and you're a W-2 employee and you're not already in business with us, this is the easy one and the one that we can help you immediately increase your cash flow. See, the IRS says 80% of the workforce That's 100 million Americans. So now think of that number, 100 million Americans. That's Ivy League college, that's some college, that's no college, that's pick a race, pick a gender, all included in there. 100 million people. Now you have to say, how can 100 million people make such a mistake? One, they didn't learn about the W-4 in their household when they were kids. They didn't hear their parents talking about the dining room table. See, it's not all formal education's responsibility. The CEO of the household when we were younger didn't teach us about the W-4. Next, in our formal education, we didn't learn about the W-4. And then third, when we got to the job and was filling out our new hire paperwork, the assistant in HR didn't ensure that we knew how to fill it out. And guess what? We didn't ask the question, how do you fill this out? So as a result, 100 million people filled it out incorrectly. They're having too much money withheld from their paycheck for federal income tax. And guess what? They're losing money. See, when you have that extra money sit, they give it back to you next year as a refund, but no interest on it. So all your money sat down there at the IRS, they made money off of it, you got it refunded to you with no interest. But now think about it. You have a credit card, they charge you interest. If you have a car note, they're charging you interest. If you have a mortgage, they're charging you interest. So instead of getting that money in your paycheck now and paying some of those things down, you're losing money. It's not working for you in your retirement account. So we show you how to multiply your money, how to make your money work for you. We help you get that back. So we say in the IRS says it's better to maximize your take-home pay. Use it for investing. Use it for eliminating debt. Or even use it for lifestyle, taking care of your family. Don't just let the IRS and the government have an interest-free loan. It doesn't make good financial sense, especially for a CEO. So let's look at our second cash flow stream. That's building great credit. Now I want you to think about this. As important and as a big a factor as credit is on our finances, are now in our next 30 years plus, how can you responsibly as a CEO lead that, delegate that responsibility to someone else, and them not do the full job? See, it's irresponsible to do that. And I guess part of the reason why people do that is they don't understand the role of a credit repair company. They only can address just your payment history, which represents just 35% of your credit score. The other 65% is getting ignored because neither are they teaching you, nor do you know how to address the important other 65%. So we make sure that you obtain a system, our system, which consists of a 26 video tape system that gives you the blueprint, the step-by-step on how to repair, build, and maintain great credit. So you now know the blueprint. You have the recipe to getting great credit. Once you have that recipe, your children will now know because you'll be able to talk about it when they're younger. You'll be able to teach them responsibility. So the second one, it allows you to now build your credit score so you can now go back and refinance that mortgage, get a lower interest rate. So you're paying less over time for your house. Lower that rate for your car. Lower the interest rates on your credit cards. Now you're paying less for the privilege of using other people's money. That's the second cash flow stream. Let's look at the third one, minimizing taxes via cash flow manager. See, really, the beginning part of this is where we're going to show you how to convert your lifestyle and make your lifestyle expenses and now make those same expenses, many of them partially tax deductible, some of them 100% tax deductible. See, business owners have access to deductions, over 475 more of them than the typical employee. I'm going to repeat that. Business owners have access to over 470 deductions that employees do not have because they're not business owners. Now, however, if that employee is a business owner on a part-time basis, so when we provide our online educational system, we deliver through a web-based business. So now all of our associates are business owners. So now many of their expenses like car and truck expenses that they already have, transportation, now become partially tax deductible. Their communications. See, if you're on here, you either have a cell phone, you have Wi-Fi at home, you're already incurring these expenses, but if you do not have a business, none of it becomes tax deductible. Now, travel, whether it's going to a family reunion, whether it's traveling to Orlando or somewhere around the country, with or without your family, without a business, none of it becomes tax deductible. But with a business, you can plan accordingly to incur those expenses as business expenses because you can attempt to do business while you're there. Don't worry, we show you how to do all of this, and we teach you using all the IRS publications. We teach you using the W-4 on how to shift your dollars back into your paycheck. We teach you using IRS publication 463 on how to convert your car expenses, your communication, your travel expenses into tax deductible items. Well, if you're a parent, you get a double benefit because all business owners have the ability to pay wages. But if you're a parent, the IRS says you have the ability to pay your children up to the age of 18 wages for helping you in your business. Now, up to 18 means 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-old. They're very specific with their language when they say up to. And don't worry, we show you and teach you using the IRS publications. Bottom line is, thousands of dollars that you're already spending, once you get our system, we show you how to convert many of those dollars into tax-deductible business expenses, lowering your taxes by thousands of dollars every single year. So now, you have the ability to take action tonight to learn how to shift hundreds of dollars back into your paycheck, to take action to receive the blueprint to repair, build, and maintain great credit. You have the ability to take action, CEO, tonight, so you now learn how to convert expenses that you already have, that you're not getting deductions for, and now make them tax-deductible business expenses. So you get the knowledge, but remember, knowledge is not powerful. You have to take action upon that knowledge in order to receive the impact. Our fourth cash flow stream deals with debt elimination. See, debt is a robber. So you have to service that debt, and the interest payments cause you to pay more than the sticker price for whatever that item is you're buying. So it's very important to understand how to eliminate this debt more rapidly. First part, you already saw how we gave you the cash flow. But most people haven't been trained or haven't been given a system to most efficiently and effectively rapidly eliminate that debt. So we've given you cash flow. We typically shift $200 to $500 back into our associates' paychecks. We encourage them to use that extra cash flow to start rapidly eliminating their debt. Now, most people know how to do that. Because again, when you become a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, a firefighter, an engineer, you want taught debt management, especially debt elimination strategy. So we have a debt elimination software that helps you prioritize those debts in an order that allows you to most effectively and efficiently eliminate them rapidly, thus getting those dollars back into your financial strategy and eliminating that debt. And because you're eliminating the debt faster, you're eliminating or lowering the price you're going to have to pay for those items over time. Now, our fifth and final cash flow stream, again, all able to accomplish within our system, is investment education. See, you have to learn the language of money. What's a stock? What's a bond? What's a mutual fund? What's a real asset? What's a commodity? What's dollar cost averaging? What's compound interest? Now, we're told to get a job and put money away in our 401k in that job. Suppose you have a job. You're one of those millions of Americans that have a job that doesn't provide a retirement account. Well, CEO, you still have to have a mechanism in order to invest and have your money grow. So how do you set up an investment account? See, we teach all of that in our investment education system, which is included in our income shifting membership. So not only you know terminology and strategy, you then learn how do you evaluate what's going to give you the best return on your money, maximizing the return on your investment. Last but not least, you're going to learn the importance of owning a piece of America. See, if you're a little older and you have grown kids, I want you to think back to when you first started buying your children Easter outfits, Christmas gifts, birthday gifts. Now, suppose all those holidays, all those years when they were growing up, the first thing you purchased them was one share of stock in Coca-Cola, Nike, IBM. Every holiday, the first thing you gave them, and you made a point to let them know that's the first thing you provided with them, was a share of stock, a CD. You just now taught them to invest in themselves. So now they're grown up. They have kids. What are they going to do? They're going to do the exact same thing you did for them. They're going to start purchasing their children stock and CDs. In other words, they're going to start owning a piece of America. So when people from other countries buy stock in these companies, and people from all around the world buy Nike apparel, guess what? It makes your babies money. It makes your children, your grandbabies money. So it's important to have a strategy in place that not only allows you to counter all those obstacles that are preventing people from reaching their goals, but it also gives you knowledge, tools, and a vehicle to win financially. And our income shifting membership does that. Now, there are some principles that anybody you identify with wealth have been utilizing. The first one we talked about is business ownership. Why? Because of equity. You now own the equity in what you're building. That's why we want to buy the house rather than renting a house, because we're going to pay the mortgage off either way, but only when we're the buyer do we own that equity. Well, renting is renting. See, you're working 40 to 50 hours a week, 20, 30, 40 years. Well, renting is renting. You have no equity. You can't pass any of that on to your children, your grandchildren. See, you hear people say all the time, we just expanded and opened another outlet. No, we didn't. They did. Our revenue is up 1.5 billion. Their revenue is up 1.5 billion because you just exchanged your time and dollars, your time and knowledge for money. You're not getting any equity when you go in, so you have to change that. So business ownership gives you equity and gives you tax preferential treatment, as I already prescribed. Now, the other thing that the businesses, the wealthy, utilize that the masses weren't taught is they have a leveraged pay system. In other words, they aren't the only ones making their money. See, Zuckerberg became a billionaire, multi-billionaire so fast is because he earned money off of 13,000 employees 40 hours a week. See, not just your own. See, think about it. When you go to work tomorrow, whose time, knowledge, energy, expertise, money are you going to make money off of? Well, most people's answer is no one but your own. But when you go to work tomorrow, who else besides yourself is going to make money off your time, knowledge, expertise, leadership? Well, the manager, the owner of the company, the shareholders, the business you stopped at to get your coffee in the morning, the gasoline station you put some gas in, the county or state when you pay tolls. See, everyone's making money off you, but you're only making money off your own efforts. You got to change that. Also, the wealthy, you look at the companies. They get a customer one time, and they get paid over and over and over again on that same customer. Lastly, is those businesses are positioned so they not only make money in one area, but without breaking stride, they make money in multiple industries simultaneously. They're like a one-stop shop like Walmart. Well, guess what? Our flagship product, our core primary product, is our income shifting membership. And there's probably 100 million people that can use that membership, that can gain immediate benefit, whether they need to put more money in their household, whether they need to improve their credit, whether they need cash flow to rapidly eliminate their debt. They can use it. So that's our one product. And that's delivered through web-based businesses. So they're expanded all over the country. But guess what? We give you the ability to be like a Walmart, to duplicate yourself all over the country. And through that one outlet, not only are you able to market through your websites the income shifting membership, but we do business in multiple multi-billion-dollar industries simultaneously, taking advantage of trends. Let's look at some of these hot trend industries that we take advantage of. We have a cashback mall that's on our site. Well, guess what? Multi-billion-dollar industry buying online. So we have contracts with over 1,000 businesses, many of them household names, Walmart, Macy's, Best Buy, BrandsMart. And guess what? Anytime someone goes to our website and they purchase from any of those businesses, our customers get cash back and we get commission. Well, as an associate, when we go to our own websites and buy, we get cash back, plus we get commissions. So multi-billion-dollar industry, online shopping. Only from your mall, only from your website, you additionally get that. Now, online travel. See, how many of you on Facebook Live watching this, how many of you on our webinar and conference call in the past 12 months haven't booked a hotel, booked the airline ticket, booked a cruise, rented a car online? See what I mean? billion-dollar industry. So now someone can go to your same website, decide whether they want the membership or not, but while they're there, decide they want to go shopping at Walmart. While they're there, they can say, well, you know what, I might as well book my ticket to Vegas now. And they did that at 3 in the morning while you're sleeping. So you have the ability to make money while you sleep. Next, ID theft protection. This time of year, everybody's thinking about it. People trying to rush and file their taxes, just fingers crossed hoping that somebody didn't file their taxes before them. Because this is one of the time of year where people just stealing people's identity. So people decide, just like for auto insurance and life insurance, they want a little layer of coverage or insurance. So they do ID theft protection. Well, guess what? While they're at your site, they can shop and get some ID theft protection as well. Multiple billion-dollar industries from one location. You become a one-stop shop. Well, guess what? We have a retail version of our credit education system. See, other people, they might not need a business. They already have a business. But one, they want to repair their credit. So we're going to give them the blueprint. But guess what? Besides wanting to do it themselves, they want to be safe. They want to safeguard their private information. See, when you're repairing and building your own credit, you're working directly with the credit agencies. They already have your Social Security number. So you don't have to work through third-party entities, and now your Social Security number and vital information is getting passed around. You take all of that out and you go directly to the agencies. So now they can go to your website and get that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And like any of the products and services that are provided on our sites, you get commission on it. Now, we have a retail cash flow manager software. See, I talked about converting those expenses into tax-deductible items, business deductions. Well, guess what? The IRS only has 2 requirements in order for you to be able to receive those deductions. One, that you operate your business with a profit intent, which all of our associates do because they realize the need for the additional income to accelerate the process of them getting free. That them building an income-producing asset that's going to allow them to live life on their own terms. They get their time back. Well, guess what? If you know anyone that's an insurance agent, a personal trainer, a realtor, an independent contractor of any kind, or a small business owner, they are going to need a tool. They're going to need a system where they can track their income, their expenses, their mileage, and take digital images of all of those receipts. Well, we provide them with an app they can download on their smartphone, tablet, or computer, and now they can keep track of all these expenses. See, your website, your business becomes a one-stop shop for finance. It becomes a one-stop shop for millions of people all around the country. And guess what? Through word of mouth, through email, through text, through Instagram, through Facebook, through Snapchat, through all the social media. We now, in traditional, we have a way to market our websites that allows us to get thousands and thousands of eyeballs, traffic to our information, and gives us the ability to build a solid and profitable business. Now, we have a world-class compensation plan. So give me a second, I'll finish up here, and I'm sure you'll just see then you have everything you need to make a decision to take action tonight. We have the fastest pay and promotion system in the industry, bar none. See, it's easy to be able to market our memberships. You really don't even have to sell. See, all you have to do is say, are you interested in putting $200 to $500 back into your pay system, back into your paycheck, while repairing, building, and growing great credit? Most people say, yes, how do I do that? Well, you can purchase a membership. Our membership is less than $50. Less than $35 a month to maintain. So once you've shared our membership, you enroll at least one person to our membership. One, you're promoted to our first leadership position, Executive Vice President. Two, you've got $10 of commission up front on that first sale. That's our training sale. Plus an additional 5% income matching for as long as they're in Iconz, for as long as they're in the business. But with this promotion comes a pay raise. Now, every time you enroll someone in our membership, which costs less than $50 to enroll in, you get $50 of commission up front. So you enroll your best friend John in our membership. As an executive vice president, you're going to earn $50. John then enrolls his cousin into the business. You're going to earn $40 on that. The cousin enrolls her neighbor. You're going to earn $40 on that, and so on and so on and so on through infinity. Every time you personally sponsor someone, $50. When they sponsor someone, $40. When they sponsor someone, $40. On and on and on. So now, that's significant upfront income. So we have people in my econ that are making an extra $100 a week to up to $15,000 a week. We have some that are making an extra $500 a month to almost $100,000 a month because of the pay system. You're not only business owners, but you have a leveraged pay system. See, when you have hundreds or thousands of people in business with you, it's easier to have those type of results. Now, in addition to having a leveraged pay system, we also have residual income. You can earn up to $8 a month residual income on every active membership. See, what if you had an extra 500 people on your team, 1,000 memberships, 5,000 memberships? Can you build it? It's belief. Can you envision yourself building a team? Well, if you can envision yourself sharing this information on your Facebook, your Instagram, emailing your folks, texting your folks, calling your friends, talking to them face to face, do you think at least 3 of them will be interested in putting $200 to $500 back in their paycheck, building great credit themselves, rapidly eliminating debt, getting more cash flow to help them reach their financial goals? Just 3 of them. Well, if you can envision yourself empowering just 3 people with our membership, well, guess what? It only makes sense that those 3 can do the same thing. Now you got a team of those 3 plus 9 more. Then if those 9 can do it, that's another 27. Those 27 get 3 each. That's another 81. Those 81 get 3 each. That's another 243. Those 243 get 3 each. That's another 729. And so on and so on. So you have the ability to do it if you can envision operating off the principle of 3 is the key. And I'm confident you can do that. But let's look at what it could be. See, once your business begins to grow, let's say it's just growing at an extra 25 new memberships a week. Well, that'd pay you an extra $1,000 a week. But at the end of that 12-month period, you would have an excess of 1,250 memberships, active memberships on your team, active business owners on your team. That would pay you up to $10,000 a month residual income. What happens is it begins to grow faster, and now you got 100 new memberships every single week enrolling on your team. Well, that's extra $4,000 a week. At the end of that 12-month period, that's over 5,000 active memberships, up to $8,000 a month residual income. That's $40,000 a month. Now, you want to know what the difference between $40,000 a year and $40,000 a month is? Belief. You believe in yourself. And your belief factor goes up when your knowledge goes up. When your knowledge goes up, your actions change, and you are able to feel confident and encouraged enough to take massive action, and that gives you massive results. You build a team, and you have the ability to do that. What happens, and this is the last one, this is the exciting one, it starts growing at 250 enrollments a week. And we absolutely have people in the company doing that right now. That would pay you in excess of $10,000 a week. At the end of that 12-month period, you'd have over 12,500 active memberships on your team, and that would pay you up to $100,000 a month. And that sounds like a lot of people, but think about it. I want you to remember this, and I'm done. There is 100 million people, employees, that have their W-4s wrong. We can help those individuals put $200 to $500 back in their paycheck. There's 68 million Americans that are not very knowledgeable about how the credit process works, that we can help them, empower them with a series of videos that give them the blueprint of how to improve their credit. There's millions of Americans that since this Christmas holiday season was over, are maxed out in debt, and they need cash flow to rapidly eliminate that debt. So there's plenty of people for us to help. They just have to know we have the solution. So all I ask of you is to now take action on the knowledge that you've just been given. Get back with the person that invited you on this webinar and conference call or this Facebook Live or the replay. Let them take you to that website, enroll you, and you'll get your own personalized website. immediate access to our world-class business system and our income shifting membership that includes, in case you forgot, our training on how to properly correct and adjust your W-4, our smart credit system, our cash flow manager software, our debt elimination software, as well as our investment education. And you get it all for a one-time upfront of $49.95. That's 100% tax deductible. Say what you think about this. If someone told you to, the first Friday every month, go down to the convenience store and buy yourself $50 worth of scratch-offs, and every first Friday you went down to the convenience store and you did that, and you won anywhere from $200 to $500 every time you did that. The next month, the first Friday you go there, you scratch it off, you get $200 to $500. What is this better? That's a risk. This is a guarantee. See, when you first enroll and pay your $49.95, we're going to help you adjust your W-4, and that's going to shift $200 to $500 back into your pay system. Now, next month, 30 days later, you'll pay $34.95 to keep your business owner status active, to keep all your products and services in a membership active, and guess what? You get another $200 to $500 back in your paycheck. The next month, you pay your $34.95. You get your $200 to $500 back in your paycheck. See, most people, just from the tax advantages alone, save more in taxes than it costs them to operate their business. But see, we're in the business of helping people build a profitable business. So we're not going to help you save on your taxes, increase your cash flow on your house, but we're going to help you build a national profitable business based on empowering others with the knowledge and tools they need to obtain personal financial success. So I want to thank you again for taking the time to get on our conference call and webinar and our Facebook Live this evening. I hope I answered all your financial solutions, how you can, one, counter the impact of high taxes, counter the impact of poor credit, counter the impact of high debt, counter the impact of inadequate investing and savings, counter the impact of the lack of understanding of inflation on your cash flow, so you now have it to use to allow you to buy, build, and grow those income-producing assets you need to obtain personal financial success. I say God bless and good night. You guys take care. Facebook Live, I want to thank you guys for staying on, and definitely feel free to share this with anyone you know, pass it on, and just going to acknowledge some of the folks that are out there. Again, just get with the person that invited you onto this. Go to their website, enroll. There is absolutely no risk, and there's absolutely nothing to lose, everything to gain. And you remember, we are where we are now financially because of what we've learned in the past and what we've done with what we learned. And if that information that you got in the past and the action you took on that information doesn't leave you where you want to be financially now, that just means you have to learn something different and take some different actions. So I want to invite you to join us in business and allow us to help you do that. So thank you guys, and once I stop this, I'll go back and reply to many of the comments, but I see you guys out there. Take care. God bless.